How to build muscle fast. This report is brought to you by Nathan Harrison at www.focusmuscle.com. While the publisher and author have used their best efforts in preparing this report, they make no representations or warranties with respect to the accuracy or completeness of the contents. http://www.focusmuscle.com/lin.html. Chapter 1. Why exercise with weights? Far too many people overlook the many health and fitness benefits that weight training has to offer, and because of this, experience problems down the road such as decreased bone density, a slowed metabolic rate, increased stress levels and other negative consequences that are associated with constant stress. Numerous studies have demonstrated that regular weight training can have a positive effect on health by showing reductions in the rate of insulin resistance, blood pressure, diabetes, heart disease, and even cancer. If you couple a solid weight training program with a well-thought-out diet, you'll be putting your best foot forward at warding off these chronic problems. Increased bone density. Weightlifting will increase your bone density and help ward off osteoporosis or stress fractures in the future. Many people think running is the best exercise for increasing bone density, but running actually promotes muscle breakdown, while weightlifting, being an anabolic process, helps to promote the building of tissues and therefore is much better at preserving your bone mass. Decreased frequency of injuries. When you strength train, not only are your muscles going to get stronger, but you'll also work the ligaments and tendons that are connecting bones, muscles, and other tissues, thus reducing the chance they become injured when participating in other physical activities. In about 80% of all sports injury cases, the injury is a direct result of a tendon, ligament, or muscle not being strong enough when a stressful force is applied. Since weight training hits all those deep tendons and ligaments, it's the best injury prevention out there. Prevention of fat gain. The more you weight lift, the higher your metabolism will be, thus the more food you can eat while maintaining your weight. Having said that, it should be understood that using a muscle building program will not of its own make you big and bulky. It's not just about the way you train, but more about the way you eat. Calories must be supplied for the growth process to take place. Likewise, you can work out all you want, but if those building blocks, in the form of amino acids, carbohydrates, and dietary fats are not there, you aren't going to see too much muscle growth. So, just because you're weightlifting, it does not mean you will end up with bulky muscles as a result. Many people make this incorrect assumption, but it really is the diet that makes all the difference in how this weightlifting will shape your body. Chapter 2. Find the right gym. It is important to choose a gym that you will feel comfortable going to on a regular basis. If it isn't, chances are you are not going to stick with any type of regular plan and will eventually just stop going altogether. By being sure your gym is a good fit for you, you help take yourself one step further to realizing your health and fitness goals. If you feel that a traditional gym isn't for you, you can set up a home gym where you can get complete workouts all in the privacy of your own home. There are a number of home gym systems out there that include all the equipment you need to perform all the key lifts that should be included in any workout program. Think about either choosing a gym that is located close to your house or else on the drive to or from work. This is a great option since if you have to pass by it every day, you'll be reminded of the fact that you should be working out if you choose to skip it. Gym memberships can vary in cost, so it's a good idea to shop round before making a commitment. Also consider how long you are signing the contract for, as this can vary too. Many gyms will have special promotions going on around late summer or New Year. Always be sure to check the opening hours of the gym. If you like to exercise early morning or late evening, you will want to be sure they are able to cater for your preferences. Check that their holiday policies suit the times you want to train. Ask if there are qualified personal trainers on hand, and what fitness classes are available even if you are not thinking of joining a class just yet. It is important to check out the cleanliness of the gym. Gyms are places where germs can be in high concentration, so make sure they have towels and spray bottles in various places around the gym to clean up after workouts, and have a look at the bathrooms and change rooms to make sure they are up to your standards. The type and quality of the equipment offered in the gym is another thing you must factor in. Whether you prefer free weights, guided machines or cardio training, make sure there is a large number of dumbbells or machines available. Because during rush hours, these could be hard to come by. Finally, take a look at the gym's cancellation policy. If you sign up for a long membership and then end up moving house after a period of time, are you going to be partially refunded? It will be a bad situation if they offer no refund or transfer membership. Overlooking just one of these essential factors could lead you to being less than happy with your workout facility, and this could end up being the reason why you do not stick with your program. Chapter 3. Build muscle using 4 simple rules. Follow the 4 simple rules to build muscle quickly without bogus supplements or any drugs. Rule #1. Commit to lifting weights at least 3 to 4 times per week. Your goal is to stimulate your muscles with resistance, stress, which results in your muscles growing bigger to avoid the stress from occurring again. Once you go home, let the muscle heal through nutrition and rest. It will grow bigger and you will repeat this process again. Ideally, you should hit your muscles once every 72 hours so you could perform 2 upper body workouts per week and 2 lower body workouts per week. Rule #2. Focus on eating at least 5 to 7 eggs a day with balanced meals from carbohydrates, proteins and fats. If your goal is to build muscle, then you should be eating at least 15 to 18 eggs your current body weight. Your carbohydrates should equate about 45% of your intake, your proteins should equate about 35% of your intake, and your fat should be the remaining 20% of your intake. You should focus on over half of those meals being solid whole food meals, and the remainder can be liquid meal replacement shakes. Rule #3. You should focus on stretching at least half the amount that you lift weights. One of the biggest mistakes I see is people training without any stretching. Stretching helps restore normal length to the tissue, and if you are constantly training, your muscle tissues will shorten and begin to perform weaker and slower and have a higher incidence of injuries. So if you are lifting weights 4 hours in the week, at least an additional 2 hours should be dedicated to stretching. You must counteract the shortening of the muscle tissues that occurs with weights, or else you are an injury screaming to happen. Rule #4. Avoid supplements that have not been around for longer than 3 years. I learned this philosophy from an Australian strength coach who recommended not trying any supplement until it has been around at least 3 years to pass the test of time. This will make your life much easier and help you avoid all the marketing hoopla in the latest fitness and bodybuilding magazine. If you follow this rule, you will discover only a small handful of supplements still standing. Here are the ones you should not go without: a high-quality multivitamin, fish oil capsules, powdered creatine and a protein powder. These products will cover your nutritional basis for healthy body composition, strength and muscle mass. Chapter 4: Getting a Six-Pack. Before we talk about how to get six-pack abs the right way, we must reprogram your hard drive and empty the trash can of garbage you have been fed. Because of all this hyped up and misguided information, even among so-called fitness experts, you should be skeptical of all abdominal training equipment and programs. Let's first eliminate the top ways not to get a six-pack. Getting a six-pack does not require expensive workout equipment, nor does it require thousands or even hundreds of crunches a day. Crunches are a very general exercise, and general exercises get general results. Excessive floor crunches shorten the abdominal wall, pull your head forward and emphasize poor posture. They also involve a very low level of stimulation, which neglects adequate muscle fiber recruitment. Learning how to get a six-pack does not involve starvation diets. Starvation diets starve the muscle when you should be feeding the muscle instead. Guess what happens when you starve your body? Your metabolism shuts down out of survival and causes your body to store fat. Your body must get energy from somewhere, so guess what gets sacrificed? That's right, your precious muscle, which is, in fact, responsible for maintaining a high metabolism. Starve your muscle. Great logic. Learning how to get a six-pack does not require fat-burning pills. What did the last weight loss pill you bought do for you? The same thing the next one is going to do: nothing. Except give you a thinner wallet but not a thinner waistline. The entire concept of taking pills to burn fat is built on a sandy foundation and misleading because diet pills only treat the symptoms and not the root cause. Without focusing on the root problems of a flabby midsection, like poor nutrition, a crazy lifestyle or improper training, you will just end up where you started, only farther away from having a six-pack instead of closer. Abdominals are a muscle, too. You want your arms to be bigger, your shoulders to be broader and your chest to be fuller, correct? And what is the solution to making these muscle groups increase in size? High-intensity weight training, overload, consistency and a healthy surplus of calories. Starting to sound familiar? The same goes for your abdominals. Your abdominals are a muscle group that requires the same formula and attention and are not any different from other muscle groups. For some reason many consider abdominals to be a special body part that requires a different set of rules and a completely different formula for training. Abdominals were not given a secret code to crack. To get thick, dense abs, the ones that pop out, you must train them with intensity and overload. Here are some practical tips you can apply to your program so that you can be the man or gal at your gym with a ripped and muscular six-pack. Then I will provide a sample program. Prioritize by sequence. If you want to focus on your abs, then start your workout with them, while you have the most energy and focus. I always train abdominals first in a workout if they need the highest attention. Prioritize by frequency. What's going to receive better results? A muscle group that is trained one time a week or twice a week, assuming you recovered prior to the second workout commencing? Of course, the muscle that is trained 2x a week. The more stimulus on a muscle, the more growth. How often you train your abdominals is based on the inverse relationship of intensity and volume. The harder you train your abs, the more rest they need. The less intense you train your abs, the more frequently you can train them. If your goal is rehab or injury prevention, then you will be able to train them often with more frequent and lower loads. If your goal is to make your abs more muscular and dense, then a higher load and less frequency would be ideal. If your goal is maintenance, then a medium load and frequency would be ideal. Refer to this table. Purpose, frequency, intensity, volume, reps, endurance/conditioning 5 to 7x a week, moderate 1 to 4 sets, 50-100, hypertrophy 4x a week, high 6 to 12 sets, 8 to 12. If building a sexy six-pack is on your to-do list, then start training abdominals 2 to 4x a week. I will teach you in a moment how to split your abdominals up into 2 different days based on movement. Your genetics and abdominals. Like all the muscle groups, all you can do is train them as heavy and hard as possible and hope your genetics take care of the rest. You can't change the shape or alignment or separation of your abs. You can't move them around and place them where you want them. Your genetics will decide to which degree they pop out and to which degree they stay smoother or flatter. The good news is that when your body fat levels are around 5 to 7%, you are guaranteed to impress people, including yourself, with a set of hot-looking abs. Even though genetics play a huge role in how they look, it's important to know how to train them to make them look their best. Divide your abdominals into 2 separate workouts for best results. To train your abdominals safely and effectively, you must know the basic movement patterns of your abs and train them within all subcategories: truck flexion, upper abs; hip flexion, lower abs; rotation, obliques; lateral flexion, obliques. The majority of books and articles you have read revolve the bulk of the ab exercises around the trunk flexion that is better known as upper ab exercises. A full sit-up is a perfect example of this. Bill Starr in his 1976 classic The Strongest Shall Survive wrote that the abdominals can be strengthened in a wide variety of ways. Sit-ups of all types, leg raises, truck rotation movements all involve the abdominal muscles to a different degree. In order to have a well-defined and sculpted six-pack, so I have provided a sample abdominal program to break it up into a 4-day program. ABCD. Trunk flexion rotation, hip flexion, lateral flexion, hip flexion, lateral flexion. Even though you are training each movement twice per week, you will perform different exercises for each workout. Use a variety of functional exercises. The top 3 hip flexion exercises. 1. Lying hip raise. 2. Incline hip raise. 3. Hanging hip raise. The top 3 trunk flexion exercises. 1. Swiss ball crunch. 2. Weighted Swiss ball crunches. 3. Weighted cable crunches. The top 3 rotation exercises. 1. Russian twist. 2. Weighted Russian twist. 3. Weighted cable crossover. The top 3 lateral flexion exercises. 1. Lateral flexion on back extension machine. 2. Lateral flexion with medicine ball overhead. Razor sharp abdominal workout. 2. Trunk rotation and lateral flexion. Perform this workout at least twice a week separated by at least 48 hours rest. You should experience a deep muscle soreness after each one of these workouts. Focus on using a load that causes failure within 8-12 reps and then move to the next exercise. This is a non-stop circuit. Rest 1 to 2 minutes and repeat until you reach 4 sets total. Exercise sets reps tempo rest side bends dumbbells overhead 148 to 12 311. Oblique crunch 148 to 12 311. Side bends dumbbells 148 to 12 311. Overhead lateral raises on back extension machine. 148 to 12 311 1-2 minutes. As said earlier, building razor sharp abs is not the easiest task in the workout, but nor is it the hardest. The above abdominal exercises will help you build a deeply separated and evenly placed set of abs in little time. The truth is that if you can't see your abs, then the best exercise for your abs will be better diet. Chapter 5. How to build muscle fast. Here are 41 of my best tips and tricks for gaining more muscle and getting more ripped than you can imagine. In the past 3 years I have supported 26,755 customers in over 120 different countries with the critical elements to build muscle mass and to experience progressive muscle gains. Today I'm handing you 41 of my own best key secrets that helped me build 41 pounds of rock-solid muscle in just 6 months, without drugs, supplements and training less than before. In a matter of weeks, not months, you too will have a jaw-dropping physique. It all starts once you begin applying the advanced muscle-building strategies below. Whether you approach your physique as a hobby or a job, you should not leave any element to chance and hope it works. In order to defeat plateaus and forge a ripped and muscular body, you need all the tips and tricks you can get. None of these techniques will work alone, but by combining as many together as possible you'll see a huge difference in your muscle growth, faster than before. 1. Max out the power of full body workouts every 48 hours. 3x a week before progressing to a 2-day or 3-day or 4-day split. 2. Multiply your body weight by a factor of 15 to determine how many calories to consume to gain muscle weight. 3. Perform only one exercise per body part each full body workout, but perform a different exercise for each body part every workout. By the end of the week you'll have hit each muscle group 3 times from 3 different angles. 4. Digest a 2:1 ratio of carbs to protein after your workout in liquid form. 5. Use a training journal and track your progress. 6. Perform each set to muscular failure. 7. Strive to drink 4 liters of water a day. 8. Vary your rep and set schemes more frequently than any other training variable. 9. Focus on exploding up on the pushing concentric portion of your movement and taking 3-4 seconds for the lowering eccentric portion of your routine. 10. Shoot for 5 pounds of lean muscle mass each month. Unless you're ultra skinny, anything more is commonly fat gain. 11. Eat at least 10 to 15 serving of fruits and vegetables each day. 12. Focus on compound movements for 80% of your workouts. 13. Alternate between dumbbells and barbells every 2 weeks. 14. Only change an exercise when you plateau on 2 workouts in a row. 15. Enter a fitness model or bodybuilding show or transformation contest to keep you motivated. 16. Follow a program for at least 12 to 16 weeks before trying your next one. 17. Pyramiding your sets to consistently increase your strength 5% each week. 18. Consume a variety of whole eggs, chicken, lean beef, fish and whole milk throughout the day for high quality, bioavailable, muscle-building protein. 19. Use a training partner for motivation and an extra push to experience faster muscular growth. 20. Never train hungry if you want to build muscle fast. 21. Concentrate your carbohydrates when your body needs them most, breakfast, pre-workout and post-workout. 22. Ensure you do the squat and the deadlift each week to increase the release of growth hormone and testosterone. 23. Hire a personal trainer if you have never received professional coaching on technique and form. 24. Stretch at least half the amount of time that you lift. If you lift 3 hours a week, schedule at least 1.5 hours of yoga or static stretching. 25. Train a muscle group through its entire range of motion to stimulate muscle size. 26. Use a 3-day-a-week 20-minute interval cardio plan, post-workout, to maximize the muscle-to-fat ratio while bulking. 27. Train your most underdeveloped muscle group first in each workout. 28. Avoid processed food, packaged food and fast food. 29. Avoid protein bars and any muscle-building supplement that has sucralose, aspartame, or other artificial or natural sweeteners. 30. Get at least 8 hours of uninterrupted sleep each night. 31. Don't be afraid to overload your muscles with maximal resistance and miss your goal reps. 32. Consume a combination of olive oil, fish oil, coconut oil, mixed nuts and natural peanut butter each day to make sure you get ample healthy fats for testosterone and other muscle-building hormone production. 33. Take a complete week off after 12 to 16 weeks of training. 34. Get a spotter to help you with your heaviest set. 35. Have a training program. Never go to the gym without a plan. 36. Perform 5 to 10 minutes of dynamic stretching before each weight training workout. 37. Schedule regular art therapy or massage therapy to avoid injuries. 38. Cold shower after every intense weight training workout. It sucks, but it works. 39. Eat at least 1 gram of protein per pound of lean body mass. 40. The core of your workout should revolve around squats, deadlifts, rows, presses, pull-ups, dips and weighted core work. 41. Train with someone bigger and stronger than you. You'll be challenged and motivated to work out harder. Chapter 6. The foods we eat play an important part in our muscle building program. Foods to avoid. Sodas and juices, excluding or including, can be the difference between skinny and fat. Go ahead and read for yourself on your next healthy fruit juice the amount of sugar. You have two ingredients, sugar and water. High-fat processed meat, sausage, pepperoni, bacon and related foods are loaded with the type of fat that will shorten your lifespan, and are also loaded with sodium. Don't confuse these for good sources of protein. Frozen desserts and ice cream, again, more sugar to transform your six-pack into a keg. Sugar and oil-laden sauces, whether it is ketchup, barbecue or horseradish sauce, the majority of nice packaged sauces is quick injections of spiced-up high-fructose corn syrup. You're better off spicing up your meals naturally without all the sugar and extra empty calories. Most processed foods, be careful of anything you see packaged in wrappers, boxes, bags or containers. These foods may promote healthiness but fail to admit the degree of processing it went through. Do your own experiment. Next time you are unsure of a processed food, just take a look at the ingredient list. If you see more than 5 ingredients that you cannot pronounce, then you have to wonder what the heck you are putting in your body. Most of these foods have an exhaustive list of fillers that preserve the shelf life and have nothing to do with nutrient value. Avoid this stuff at all cost. White flour products like white bread and bagels, manufacturers first remove the wheat seeds bran, its 6 outer layers, and the germ, which results in more than 75% of the vitamins and minerals being lost and over 95% of the fiber being lost. It gets worse. What little is left gets bleached in chlorine dioxide to give the bread a shelf life. It is further whitened by adding chalk, alum, and ammonium carbonate to make it feel and look more improved for the customer. An anti-aging salt that I do not even know how to spell or pronounce is added to the final stage. A few synthetic nutrients are then added back into the white flour and enriched, but in reality there has been no real enrichment of the original product, only deception and destruction. Did you know that rats will die within 7 to 10 days after being put a diet of white flour? Potato chips, a cumulative batch of chemicals to put an enormous amount of strain on the pancreas, which is forced to protect your body from these chemicals. Mystery food in rotting Tupperware containers. Even though Aunt Wilma makes a mean turkey dinner and has supplied you with leftovers until next Christmas, there is no reason to test its lifespan. Do an inventory once a week and chuck any foods that have exhausted their expiration date. Add these foods. Beverages, get ready to start drinking a lot of water. Invest in filtered water and avoid tap water if you know your local area comes from poor sources. Also, drink 2 to 3 cups of green tea a day for its high antioxidant profile and more than a handful of health reasons. Chuck the killer fruit juices and soda. Boneless chicken breasts, if your budget permits, aim for free-range chickens, organically fed, as they are a most superior choice. If you cannot afford these regularly, then go for the grain-fed, store-bought type because they carry minimal body fat. Cooking spray, only buy the ones made from canola or olive oil. Cheese, typically the cheeses that have a stronger taste will serve more purposes. They have a better protein and fatty acid profile and they provide more taste to your food. Cheese is higher in fat, so use it in moderation and aim for a variety of cheeses, such as feta, goat, Havarti, aged white cheddar and Parmesan. Dried fruit, this is a great source of easy calories. Just a small handful of some dried fruit has the same amount of calories as a large apple. If you're trying to gain weight, then dried fruit can work to your advantage, but if you are trying to lose weight, then be very cautious. Good sources are currants, dates, pears, mango, apples, and banana. Just don't eat the extra sweetened ones loaded with hydrogenated oils as an additive. Eggs, Omega-3 eggs should always be chosen because they are laid by chickens that were fed a diet rich in ground flaxseed. Egg whites. Egg whites can be a little pricey if you buy them in the cartons, but can save you the headache and mess of cracking and storing half your fridge with egg carton boxes. Instead, buy a few cartons of egg whites that are a great substitute to top off an omelette with some high-quality protein. Egg whites are also great to throw into protein shakes, but don't be surprised if your significant other runs away because of wicked stink bombs. Extra lean ground sirloin. Always go for the leanest sources available. Your local grocery store should meet your requirements, but feel free to venture down to a farmer's market and go for grass-fed beef freshly ground. Fruit. Always go for an assortment of colors and make sure your fridge is always stocked with fresh fruit. I typically shop for seasonal fruit from a quality perspective and cost perspective. If you can, go for local and organically grown produce. Examples are apples, grapes, bananas, kiwi, raspberries, blueberries, strawberries, mango, oranges, tangerines, and pineapple. Green tea. Go for the one without any extra flavoring or fillers. An organic green tea without any extra herbs is the best. Grains. Here is some safe ammunition on the grain side. Oats, not the instant oatmeal loaded with sugar, oat bran, whole flax seeds, quinoa, whole barley and wheat bran. Lean turkey and chicken sausage. This is great to mix things up. And while you might not want to buy this all the time, there is nothing wrong with the occasional street meat. Legumes, kidney beans, split peas, chickpeas and lentils are excellent sources of fiber and a great addition to your arsenal. Meat, poultry and fish. There are many exotic selections to choose from, and the best advice I can give is variety. Eat a wide assortment and do not limit yourself to one shopping center. Rotate your shopping trips to farmers markets, the supersize grocery store and smaller grocery stores. Each will carry a different selection of meats. Mixed nuts. These are easy calories and a great source of good fat to balance out your meals. The best sources are walnuts, almonds, cashews, pecans and peanuts. Sauces and condiments. There are many options that will enhance your taste buds while not counteracting the nutrient profile of the meal. Here are some safe bets: pesto, salsa, curry sauce, tomato pasta sauce, balsamic vinegar, white cooking wine, red wine, raspberry vinegar and flax oil. Salmon. Genuine wild salmon is better than farmed salmon because you will benefit from its higher quality omega-3 profile and absence of mercury and toxins. Spices. Here is where the fun comes in. You don't have to be a master chef to know how to use certain spice combinations, but it may take some experimentation. Consider this free food and customize your spices to your dish. Focusing on just some of the basics like salt, pepper, fresh garlic, basil, oregano, chili powder, and cinnamon will bring your food to life. Vegetables. If you know which aisle the chips and cookies are better than where the fresh produce section is, then we have some work to do. You should be able to pick your vegetables from your local food market with your eyes closed. This should be the one section in the grocery store you are more familiar with than any other. Here are your staples: spinach, broccoli, peppers, asparagus, tomatoes, mushrooms, onions, cucumbers, celery and carrots. Try and aim for the colors of the rainbow. The more variety the better. Secret tip when grocery shopping. You will notice that the majority of these foods are stocked on the periphery of the grocery store. While you are at the grocery store, you will notice that your trek does not wander into the forbidden aisle. These are the aisles full of the present and future physique challenged. Grocery shopping does not get easier than this once you discover that the best foods are located in the produce and refrigerated section. Shop in the safe zone to avoid the ambush of pre-packaged food and processed carbs, sugar and bad fats. Don't forget to buy plenty of meal-sized Tupperware containers, plastic bags, a lunch bag, some 1L water bottles and perhaps some plastic cutlery. This will help you prepare your meals in advance. Create a nutritional plan and follow it. Have you heard of the saying, make your plan and then work your plan? It's quite powerful if taken seriously and applied wholeheartedly. Once you have decided on the plan that's right for you, stop surfing the internet, stop chatting on forums, stop trying to perfect it and simply follow what you have. Your biggest obstacle will be keeping a 90% adherence to the program. Commit to following the program for at least 90% of the time. That means if you are eating 6 times a day, you will be eating a total of 42 times per week. 90% compliancy means you don't mess up more than 4 times in the entire week. Puts a new perspective on why you might have not succeeded the past few years. One of my nutrition mentors reminded me to not judge a program until I have followed it to 90% compliancy and for at least 4 weeks straight. Anything less is too short to come to any conclusions of whether it was a good or bad plan. Don't play the blame game and try out a new nutrition plan for 1 or 2 weeks and then quit and say you didn't get results because it wasn't working. Replace old habits with new habits. Habits are basically like automatic behaviors. I will be the first to admit that breaking bad habits and forming new habits is not easy at all. If it were, you would have no financial problems, perfect relationships, a healthy body, and you would be rocking this world. It's interesting how you have probably tried to break an old habit by doing the same thing over and over but expecting a different result. Isn't it foolish? Why can't we see that trying to write a different ending to a story by mentally writing a different story in our minds just does not work, and it will never work. Chapter 6. Here are some practical tips to help you create new habits. Post your meal plan on the fridge. If last year, you simply kept your nutrition plan in your head, then replace this with a new habit. Put it in a visible place where you can see it every day and be reminded exactly what to eat. Obviously, the kitchen will be the most practical spot. Prepare your meals in advance. Instead of waking up causally each day without enough time in the morning to take your food to work, set aside a time in the week where you create all your foods 3 or 4 days in advance. Make your life as easy as possible. I suggest coming up with a set time each week where you designate a few hours to preparing all your meals and then freezing them until you need them. Buy a cooler and Tupperware containers. Having the right equipment will force you to eliminate the excuses. Buy enough Tupperware containers so that you can separate all your foods and organize them nicely. Sure, this might sound extreme to the general public, but I am assuming you are sick and tired of looking like the general public. I don't know any professional bodybuilder or fitness model who does not travel with a cooler. I have no alternate solution to suggest anyways. How the heck are you going to eat 3 or 4 meals away from home if you do not pack them in a cooler? Hey, did I mention get a cooler? Buy your supplements in bulk. How often have you run out of supplements, which results in sabotaging your diet plan for a day or 2? Having a stack of supplements sitting on my countertop reminds me of my goals each day and that I have the tools to succeed. I have no excuses if I am in a rush and need to mix a protein shake. From a financial standpoint, making a commitment to buying a certain volume of supplements in advance tells yourself that you are committed and not going to waste your hard-earned money by quitting. Failing to prepare is preparing to fail. I could not agree more strongly with the late Benjamin Franklin. Failing to prepare is preparing to fail. Eating without a program is like building a house without a blueprint. How will the final product look if a final product is even achieved? When I refer to meal plan, I'm referring to all the specific details of a nutrition plan. I'm referring to the overall calories, amount of carbs, amount of protein, meal frequency, food selection, etc. These details must be pre-planned before you even start. Yes, this is a true plan. How much easier will it be to maintain your focus every time you wake up each morning? Having a plan to follow leads to one simple task: Work it and execute it. Decide to be successful and take responsibility. I learned this philosophy from the Australian strength coach Ian King. It goes something like this. You are getting everything you deserve right now based on the person you are being and the decisions you have made. You will continue to get the same thing if you continue doing the same thing. You will not get a different result unless you become a different person by habit and action. This philosophy has seriously impacted me. Everything you have in life is exactly what you deserve to have and everything you want to have. Powerful. Jim Rohn, one of the world's greatest personal development coaches, constantly preaches passionately on this topic and has this to say. You must take personal responsibility. You cannot change the circumstances, the seasons, or the wind, but you can change yourself. That is something you have charge of. You don't have charge of the constellations, but you do have charge of whether you read, develop new skills, and take new classes. Brad Sugars, an Australian entrepreneur and wealth/business coach, describes an excellent picture of this philosophy of taking responsibility. It is a very clear and accurate portrayal of the difference between taking responsibility, described as playing above the line, and avoiding responsibility, playing below the line. Observed the words victim correlating with playing below the line, and the words victor correlating with playing above the line. Which line do you play in? It is much easier to play below the line, especially when our society reinforces this attitude. Do you think that the best way to fulfill your potential is by blaming someone else? Does this way of living allow you to reach your full potential? Never. This is a guaranteed way of allowing short-term relief, but the downside is that it leads to a long-term spiral downward of never gaining control of your life and not truly reaching your potential. So whatever body you are living in now, maybe it's too thin, too big, too soft, too flabby, not tight enough, not strong enough and so forth, you are responsible for transforming your body for the better, if that is truly what you desire. Make this the year that you visit the gym regularly, master your meal plan and create a new body and a new life. Yours sincerely, Nathan Harrison. Gain muscle sensibly in the fastest possible time.